everyone, this is going to be my Hell in a Cell 2017 review video. So I went into this show with really little to no expectations, and I ended up being pleasantly surprised, mainly because I was the only person that called the finish of the main event. Sami Zayn turning heel, helping Kevin Owens to win the Hell in a Cell match. Thank you so much to everyone who has given me credit and crediting me for that prediction. It means a lot to me. I never thought it actually would have happened, but it did. So props to WWE for doing something right, but I'll get into that at the end of the video. So first up, we have the kickoff match. There really wasn't anything to talk about here. Nobody turned. Everybody thought either Benjamin maybe would have turned on Gable to start a singles run for himself, or Mojo or Ryder, one of them would have turned on each other. But nonetheless, no one turns. It was a very boring match. Gable and Benjamin ultimately ended up getting the victory, and that was really it. So on to the main card, we actually see the first Hell in a Cell match open the show, and a lot of people were tweeting me like in shock. But for me, I wasn't really shocked at all. I knew exactly why they were doing that. It was to hype up the crowd, get the crowd pumped for the rest of the show. Now, one can argue, how the hell do you follow such an amazing match? I totally get that, but I think it was smart to have that as the opener because, you know, one Hell in a Cell match and then the main event Hell in a Cell. I think it definitely makes sense. This match was 22 minutes of pure awesomeness. It was so good, as we all expected it to be. This was my favorite match going in. I was most excited for this match, and it definitely delivered. There was a lot of innovative stuff happening between the Usos and the New Day. Ultimately, I was right again. The Usos did get the victory. It just makes sense because who else could the New Day really feud with if they kept the titles, you know? So I'm just so happy. It was such a freaking amazing match, and it was just the perfect match to end a rivalry. It's definitely a match I'm always going to remember. It was brutal. It was catastrophic. So much carnage, and I'm here for that. So A+ for that match. Next up, we have Randy Orton versus Rusev, part 2. Please take a moment of silence for Rusev's career. I love you, Rusev. Rusev, as we know him, is officially done. Rusev, I hope to God one day you see the light. You deserve so much better, Ruru. You have to realize that there is life outside of the little WWE bubble. You could go to Japan, you could go to Ring of Honor, you could go to Lucha Underground, you could go to Progress, you could go any company you want. I understand that he's probably making good money and that's what's keeping Rusev in the company, but there just comes a point where money is not the main motive anymore. You know, I'm sure he saved up for the 4 years he's been with WWE. You know, the fact that he keeps losing and losing and losing again, this guy has so much potential. I have been saying this for years. Now, even if you don't like the guy, I get that, you know, you have your favorites, but you should at least be fair and say that he's a decent enough talent where he should not be being buried like this. Now, if this was because of the heat in 2015 that him and Lana announced their engagement via Twitter, then that's really crazy. Vince is so stubborn. He can't get past things, unfortunately, and it's just a shame. You know, I'm beyond screaming about it because I've done that before. I'm just numb to it now. I just think that I can 100% be okay with Rusev saying goodbye to him because he deserves a lot better, and I really hope he does anything he can to ask for his release because he deserves way better than the treatment that he's getting. He is such an incredible talent, and they are shitting all over Rusev's credibility. He is so excellent in the ring. He's a decent character, and he's a phenomenal heel. I just don't understand why they're not capitalizing on somebody like Rusev. He's so fucking good. It's a damn shame. Up next for the US title, we have AJ Styles defending against Baron Corbin and Ty Dillinger. Ty Dillinger got added on the pre-show, which blows my mind. I get it, he was in the storyline all along, but who in this day and age can just ask for a title match and get it the night of? What? That was stupid. But realistically, we all know why Ty was added to that match, to simply eat the pinfall. Now, it was a pretty freaking good match. They did protect Styles at the end because Styles did not get pinned. Baron Corbin pinned Ty Dillinger, and this is perfect because Styles still remains looking extremely strong here, like phenomenally strong. And Corbin needed that win, let's be real. Now, I guess we could say Corbin's not buried anymore. He did win last night. So I just think that Corbin needs to hold his title for a while, probably going into Mania, I would say. I think he has to kind of impress people in the mid-card, show what he could do. I think Corbin has to get a little bit more skilled with his wrestling while being in the mid-card. So for another 6 months, hopefully he could learn. And then from there, we'll see what he could do in 2018. Maybe he could go up the rankings a little bit. But I kind of agree with them not pushing him to the main event spot yet. He still has a long way to go. I'd give it another year. Nonetheless, I am happy that Corbin did win. He needed that win desperately. Styles did not need that title. And Dillinger, well, I just feel like he needs to build a name for himself before he can win any sort of title. But AJ doesn't need it, and Dillinger is still needs to be built up. So Corbin was definitely the right choice in my opinion. Up next, we have the Women's Championship match, Natalya versus Charlotte Flair. So this match ended in a DQ, basically protecting Charlotte Flair. Natty was working over Charlotte's knee the entire match, and Natty goes on the outside, gets a chair, thus ending in a DQ. So I guess this match is gonna keep happening. You know, this rivalry is gonna keep going on, and I'm just glad that they didn't take the title off of Natty too quickly. She just won it, so I think it was smart. I think it protects both ladies in the long run. But like I said, with the 4 horsewomen of UFC versus the 4 horsewomen of WWE, that's kind of on the horizon. We haven't really heard much of that post the Mae Young Classic, so I don't really know what's going to happen with that. I'm expecting them to have that match eventually because it is a money match, and Vince loves money matches, so it is an attraction match, and we all know Vince and the higher-ups love those attraction matches. Up next for the WWE title, we have Jinder Mahal defending his title against Shinsuke Nakamura. You guys, I have totally accepted that Jinder Mahal is walking into WrestleMania 34 with the WWE title. Let's all just face the facts now. He is 100% going into New Orleans with that title. They just love that whole India market. They love it. They just see dollar signs all over the place. All they see is dollar signs, you know? So I didn't know that India had that big of a market for wrestling. Never expected that. Nor did I ever expect Jinder to hold the title for 5 months. That's insane to me. Jinder defeated Shinsuke clean with the Colossus. The fact that they are protecting Jinder's finishing move so heavily shows me that someone is going to kick out of that move at Mania. Has to be. The momentum that Nakamura had going in, right down the toilet. Flush that right down the toilet. I am incredibly nervous for Asuka. The fact that they are doing these Japanese talents dirty, I see you, Vince. I see you. And I'm not here for it. Up next, the death slot of the night, we had Bobby Roode going up against Dolph Ziggler. This was a filler match. The crowd was pretty much dead because of Jinder's win. So everybody was like over it. They wanted to leave, but they were waiting for the epic main event. This match I feel bad for because of the way it was on the card. It was the death slot of the night. So a lot of people were tired. I'm sure a lot of people were not even paying attention. It was an okay match. Bobby Roode ultimately got the win, but then Dolph Ziggler hit his zigzag on Bobby Roode. So in a way, yes, I'm glad that they had Bobby Roode successfully, you know, win his first pay-per-view match, but Ziggler's, I don't know. I just feel like Ziggler puts on such good matches, but he comes up short every single match. You know, Rusev and Ziggler are kind of in the same boat, but at least they're trying to do something with Ziggler, and he'll be there for a little bit longer. I also think it's important to mention, I'm not really sure how the higher-ups feel about Bobby Roode, because if they felt really that great about Bobby Roode, I don't know if they would put him on the death slot, the filler match of the pay-per-view. A lot of people were also saying how lackluster it was being on that late of the show. I kind of feel like that was a bad move booking-wise. What do you guys think? The epic main event of the night, we have Kevin Owens going up against Shane McMahon in the Hell in a Cell match. So yours truly made a video a few days prior to this show, and I did predict the main event accurately. So in advance, thank you to everybody. You guys are epic and I love you. If you did not watch my Hell in a Cell 2017 predictions, you will see that I did say I believe that Sami Zayn was going to turn heel and assist Kevin Owens to victory, and he did just that, baby. Now, I'm not a Sami Zayn fan, but I think Sami Zayn turning heel is a whole new lease on his career. The guy hasn't done anything substantial besides having an epic match with Nakamura at WrestleMania 32 for NXT. Besides that, he's kind of just been in the mid-card mix the whole time he's been in the company for almost 2 years. So he hasn't really done anything of substance. Now that he turned heel, I feel like this is going to rejuvenate him, and that's what he's been needing for the past 2 years. So I'm here for that. Now, I want to get into the match itself. It was carnage, a beautiful disaster, as I put it on Twitter. It was so fun to watch. I am 100% proud that they actually utilized the cell. I like how Kevin Owens was kind of teasing the fans, seeing if they were into, you know, Owens and Shane going up on the cell, the top of the cell, and the fans were all cheering. So he was kind of like hinting at that, and they finally ended up going on top of the cell. They were on top of the cell a little long, in my opinion, but it was just a fun spectacle to watch, and I'm really glad that in this era that they still went to the top of the cell. Kevin Owens delivered his powerbomb on the cell, and he did a senton on the cell. Obviously, he didn't throw Shane off of the cell because obviously that's too risky. I need to take a moment to praise Shane McMahon, someone who's almost 50 years old, climbing to the top of the cell, has Owens perfectly perched on the table, ready to jump right through the table. He ultimately goes for his flying elbow drop. Sami Zayn pushes Kevin Owens out of the way, turns heel, saves Owens from getting demolished by Shane McMahon, and then Kevin Owens ultimately gets the victory, which was perfect. Shane is amazing, right? However, Shane is facing a lot of heat from a lot of the wrestlers backstage because they feel like if they were to do these death-defying stunts, they would lose their top-tier push in the company. Shane will always have that position because of who his father is. Now, I have to defend Shane here. It's not Shane's fault that his dad is Vince McMahon. Shane, to me, feels like somebody who is always out to praise and impress the fan base, and I love that about Shane. I think he's a really like true, genuine, regular kind of guy. Like if he was on the street, I think he would be really chill. Whereas Stephanie and the rest of the McMahon gang, I feel like they're a little bit too more business oriented, which is okay, but I feel like Shane is more for the fans. Like I feel like he's one of us in some aspects, and I really respect that about Shane McMahon. In my opinion anyway, I don't think Shane should dumb himself down wrestling wise doing these crazy stunts. Because of what reason? Why should he dumb himself down to appease wrestlers backstage? You know, he can't help who his family is. He's always going to be at that top tier upper echelon picture because that's what it is. He's a McMahon at the end of the day. Right, so I get it. If, say for example, Kalisto did a death-defying stunt, right? He gets injured, he's out for a year. He's probably not going to be where he's at when he comes back. And not that he's anywhere special, I'm just giving an example. So a lot of these wrestlers are upset that Shane could do these moves, and if he gets injured, he can come back in a year and he's still going to be at that upper echelon position. So the fuck what? He can't help who he was born into, what kind of family. He was born into a wealthy wrestling family, the biggest wrestling family in the world. He's always going to be at that top tier position no matter what. I say go for it, and I'm glad Shane does not give a fuck what these idiots backstage think. These wrestlers, even though I respect their opinion, they're never going to compare with the hierarchy, which Shane is a part of. With that being said, I thought the pay-per-view was so fucking good. There was some downfalls. I mean, Rusev having the job again, Jinder defending successfully and defeating Nakamura clean. Oh. All in all, though, it was very good. I give it a B+. The main event got 40 minutes. That's epic. I think it was a really good show, and I definitely urge everybody to go out of their way and watch it. And like I said, since I did predict the finisher of Hell in a Cell, I urge you guys, if you did not watch, to go back and watch my prediction video. I love you guys so much. Please give this video a like, subscribe for more videos coming soon, and I love you guys so much.